What is up, and welcome to SGPN's The Daily Dog. I'm your host, Britton Hess. I'm here with my favorite Underdog Fantasy Pick'em plays for Monday, October 7th, 2024. If you're new to Underdog Fantasy, sign up with the promo code DailyDog for a 50% deposit match bonus worth up to $1,000. So if you put $100 on, you get 50 for free. If you put 200 on, you get 100 for free. If you put 1,000 on, 500 for free. And if you put 2K on there, you get 1,000 in free play. Definitely worth your worth your time if you are new to Underdog. And if you're playing pick'ems elsewhere, then get on Underdog because they have the best promos in the game. I'm not even joking about that. It's not just the deposit match bonus, it's the boosts, it's the free plays, it's the gimmies, it's all sorts of stuff they've got going on there. And they have deposit boosts for existing customers too. It's not one of those sites that only hooks up to people who are new to the site. They really want to keep your business, so get on Underdog if you're not there yet. All right, let's get to our Monday Night Football card here. It was a crazy week of football on Sunday. My goodness, the upsets in the late window again were crazy, and I luckily avoided those in Survivor. But I'll talk about that in a little bit. Let's go to the Monday Night Football game with the Chiefs laying 5.5 points versus against the New Orleans Saints. I just want to say the line is 5.5 points at the time of me recording this, and I just did a quick little analysis of the Chiefs in the Andy Reid era with a spread between 3.5 and 6.5, so kind of that dead zone between the key numbers of 3 and 7. And the Chiefs only they're 13, 18, and 1 ATS, so 41% cover rate, not exactly good. They're good straight up, 71, 72% of their games in this range. With this spread, they have won, so they win, but they don't win by margin. And then over under in these games, 14, 16, and 2. So they trend under. They only go over 47% of the time, so trending under slightly. All of that said, my slip reflects these trends that I identified in this spread range, and I also, just did the Chiefs as a big favorite of a 5.5 or more as well, and they are basically the trend line is the same. So they don't necessarily score a ton. I know that everyone thinks that the Chiefs are this high-paced, high-powered offense that scores at will. They generally only take shots after setting up a bunch of other stuff. Like Xavier Worthy might get a look in this one, but a deep shot or two in this game. But it's not going to be like they're going to come out on first down every time they get the ball and try to take the top off this Saints defense. That's just really not how they play. The highlights look good, but they play a lot of dink and dunk, run it between the tackles, and kind of try to lull the defense to sleep before they take those deep shots. So I'm not very aggressive with Chiefs on this slip. I am, however, aggressive with Alvin Kamara, higher than half of a rushing plus receiving touchdown. Alvin Kamara is having a career resurgence. He's having one of the best, just one of the best seasons of his entire career this year. And he needs to score higher than half of a touchdown here. He is, the main dude for he's the main runner for this team, obviously. But he's also a massive part of the passing game. Rashid Shaheed has some questionable consistency, I would say, as the wide receiver 2 for this team. So they definitely rely on him. And also Taysom Hill is not going to be active for this game. So that means while Kamara has less competition for touches in the red zone, he is 1A, 1B, and 1C as far as this offense goes. Maybe he's 1A and then Olave is 1B and then he's 1C again. But you get the point. You're not going to miss out, or you're not going to feel like you're wasting your slip if you put Alvin Kamara to score a touchdown, because he's going to get looks in the red zone. He's going to get looks outside the red zone, and he's got the speed to score from long. I mean, he had a 59-yard rushing or touchdown reception earlier this year. So Kamara is always live to score no matter where the team is. And again, they're setting stuff up for him. He is the engine behind this whole offense. All right, next one. We know Rashee Rice got injured for the Chiefs last week. So let's go with Justin Watson higher than 2.5 receptions. I know a lot of people are going to be gravitating toward Kelsey receptions up, Juju Smith-Schuster receptions up, and also Xavier Worthy receptions up. I don't really know what Juju Smith-Schuster has in the tank at this point in his career. He's still young enough to be a very productive receiver. He's not over the hill by any means. I mean, he got into the league when he was like 19 years old. So Juju still has plenty there. He hasn't been performing at a high level for a long time. He's made some money. He's still on social media and all that stuff. Good for him, but he's not really the elite receiver. He's not even the receiver he was for the Steelers. He's not the receiver that he was for the Chiefs in his first stint with this team. And then Travis Kelce is just old. Maybe he's just not that good anymore. Maybe they're saving him till late in the year. But I mean, he was running out of gas last year. So this year, him having a drop off in production isn't really surprising to me. A lot of people are going to think, oh, well, now that Rashee Rice is out, it's just going to be the Mahomes and Kelsey show. I don't know if Kelsey has that in him. I really don't. That being said, Justin Watson has been with this team for several years. He's been there since pretty much, I think, since he was drafted in like '08. And he usually is that receiver 4, receiver 5 for this team. But when they've dealt with injuries before, cluster injuries in the wide receiver position, he has broke out for 3+ reception games. He's been around long enough to know what he's supposed to do. And also, I should say, Mecole Hardman also is banged up in this game. So I feel like Justin Watson is going to get plenty of looks. I think higher than 2.5 receptions is my favorite straight bet as well, just because I know what kind of box scores he has put together with this team as a as a primary pass catcher when the rest of the room has been injured. Yeah, he's not going to be as exciting as Rashee Rice with the ball in his hands, but he is a deep threat. He can go long, and like I said, they will manufacture touches for him because they have to give them to somebody, and they don't necessarily love the running back room either. So, spoiler alert, I also think Saints in the points is not a bad look because I know, Mahomes magic is a real thing. You can see Mahomes magic in this game without them covering a 5.5 point spread, but that's just me. All right, last one. Harrison Butker higher than 7.5 kicking points. 3 field goals. I see 3 field goals in this one, and maybe 2 extra points as well. But just as I said, this team is not as aggressive or not as offensively dominant as you think. A lot of unders in games in this spread range for the Chiefs. So when there's unders, that's because you're kicking field goals instead of hitting. You're kicking field goals instead of scoring touchdowns. And I think Butker is going to have a great game. My God, the kickers we saw on Sunday were all performing so well. So no surprise here that I would not be surprised at all if Butker has a 3-4 field goal game and gets right over this without even having to kick an extra point. So these 3 plays together: Alvin Kamara higher than half a touchdown rushing or receiving, Justin Watson higher than 2.5 receptions, and Harrison Butker higher than 7.5 kicking points is a 7.56x multiplier. Really big juicer there. So I like that one a lot. All right, let's give out a MLB, NL, or AL. I guess it is all AL divisional series slip today on these MLB postseason games. We're going to start out with Matthew Boyd, the pitcher, the lefty for the Guardians, higher than half of a hit allowed in the first inning. So Matthew Boyd has 8 starts this year. He's allowed a hit in the first inning in 7 of those 8 starts. I think it's been like the last 5 or 6 consecutive he's allowed a hit in the first inning. Generally speaking, he gets 1 or 2 outs, and then the third batter somehow hits a single or a double, and then he gets out of the inning. He's not really like a big, Yerfie pitcher. He doesn't allow a lot of runs in the first inning. He did when he played the Yankees several games ago because he allowed a home run to Soto. But generally speaking, he gets 2 outs, lets someone on via single or double, and then gets the third guy out or finds a double play or whatever. So Matthew Boyd, higher than 0.5 hits allowed in the first inning, is my first pick on this slip. He's not even that good of a pitcher, so this is like basically the day for the Tigers to kind of jump on them, and they better jump on them fast. And in that line of thought, Riley Green of the Tigers, the young stud on this team who kind of was the future of the franchise, and then the franchise was tanking earlier this year, and it's like, well, at least we have Riley Green down the line. Oh, wait, we're going to turn the corner, and we still have Riley Green this year. He's been awesome for this team. He is like there's a lot of batteries for this team, but he's kind of like the little bit of gasoline that catalyzes the fire for this Detroit Tigers team. Give me Riley Green to score higher than 0.5 runs in this game. Next one. We are going to Salvador Perez, higher than 1.5 total bases versus Carlos Rodon and the Yankees. Salvador Perez pretty much owns Carlos Rodon. He's 13 of 26 in his career against Rodon. He's got 3 home runs against him. I expect Salvi to get involved on the bases early and often in this game, so give me Salvador Perez. This slip, Matthew Boyd higher than 0.5 hits allowed in the first inning. Riley Green higher than half a run scored, and Salvador Perez higher than 1.5 total bases, pays 10.1x, so you're getting a big return on a small investment here. Last one, I wanted to lock in a college football Saturday one quickly and early in the week because these are going to move. Jeremiah Smith, phenom wide receiver for Ohio State, higher than half of a rushing and receiving touchdown. Quinshon Judkins, running back for Ohio State, higher than half of a rushing and receiving touchdown. The dude just can pound it in from inside, and I think that Ohio State is going to murder Oregon in this game. with that in mind, I think Dylan Gabriel is going to have higher than 227.5 passing yards because they're going to be playing catch up the whole time. 6x multiplier. Lock it in early and let's make some money.